Here is Matthew Johns giving a pass across. It went backwards. It's okay. Matthew Reek, the flyer, is with the ball. He puts on in and away. Goes down the left side. Steps again and is tackled inside the 20-metre line. Johns. Kamali. Kamali, a long ball out to Peachy. Peachy will go through. Peachy scores. First try of the semi-final. It came off the back of Matthew Reek. And then a long pass has found Peachy in broken defence.
He was a very good buy for the club, wasn't he, Matthew Reek? Coming from the Panthers. No substitute for speed in this game. And he's got way too much of it for Clark. He comes to the fullback. Good tag coming late. The Sharks, they've weathered a storm and now first points.
Yeah, beautifully finished off there by David Peachy. The ball that started all, though, came from Matthew Johns. It was a corker. A cut-out pass that went to ground. They carried it on, and David Peachy looked up and saw three forwards out there wide. They just got back in the fence, recovering from the long chase, and Peach gets the arm up. It's a great start for the Sharks.
On number 2, but that was a very good run by Bickerstaff. Treaster finding Kamali. He goes back to Peachy. Peachy tries to put a player through the gap, and he's tackled only a couple of metres from the line. It is Nick Graham. Plays it back now for Gallen. Gallen gets it away for Danny Nutley, and Hornby catches a ride. Millard there as well. Kamali away for Bailey. I tell you what, they're not going to give in all that easily, the Sharks. They're back to 12-10. Some of the defence close to both lines.
To meet him, they gave him a chance and he took it.
The thing about this is that this is only the second time in the opening 20 minutes that Cronulla have been down in the Dragons' 20-metre zone. The other time they were down there for one tackle was when Peachy scored. They've had 4 or 5.
The Sharks, they've had great field position. Kamali for Graham. Graham dummies. Now it's with Franze. He will score. Did he get the ball down? Harrigan is pointing to the spot, and Franze has scored try 3 for the Sharks.
At a crucial stage, 3.5 minutes to go on the last. The Sharks put pressure on the Dragons. Barrett was forced to pass to Stapleton. He tried to offload, and Lovell was able to. It's 2-on-2 out here, nothing's on. The big fend into the chest, and then slides between a couple of players to score on the stroke of half-time.
Yes, the momentum of this game changed about 10 minutes ago when the Sharks started to get a lot more possession. The Dragons start to make mistakes. They drop the ball. They can't get out of their own half. And the Sharks, we've got players like Kamali, Peachy getting their hands on the ball, providing great passes for players like Franze. Can't he play? He's come really good this year. He's had a fantastic year. It was a great stand up and get on.
These players could be in their last 40 minutes in Sydney football. Certainly some of them making club changes. The loser of this dropping out is Kamali. Goes through, gets it away. Bickerstaff will score. No more deserving player on the park. Bickerstaff off Kamali. Sharks under the uprights, 22-12.
And you just follow him, wouldn't you? Brett Kamali. What a season he is having, especially the second half of it. Just a little show of the outside. You've got to blame the outside defender. He took his eyes off Brett Kamali, who put the foot down, accelerated through, and then threw the pass back on the inside. I think you'll actually find one of the Dragons.
Gets it away. Treaster then goes up the middle. Peachy's over on his left. He's tackled 30 metres out from the Dragons line. Tackle 5. Peachy passes to Kamali. Kamali puts the kick in. Mellor is after it. Up they go. It'll be a Sharks ball, and they're over the line. And he's ruling 6 more tackles. They're not over the line, obviously. Short of the line. The long ball to Kamali, then to Graham. Graham tries to beat them. Is tackled 10 metres out from the line. Treaster. Kamali. And there's the pass. Franze! Franze gets his second try. Beautiful pass by Kamali. And Franze is in for his second.
Yeah, they were shot birds after getting 6 again here against them, the Dragons. Bosnich so close to scoring. Grounded just short. The ball is still
23 metres out from the Dragons line. Treaster for Kamali. Kamali with players to choose from. This is Bosnich. And Bosnich to play the ball. 15 from the line. They go to the short side for Peachy, and Peachy flick passes. Mellor will be hard to stop. They won't stop him. Mellor puts the ball down. The Sharks are in again. It is feeding time at Aussie Stadium. 6 tries on the board for the Sharks.
It's not a frenzy as yet, but it's not far from it. Sharks having a great time now, and David Peachy loves getting involved. Comes across to the right-hand side. As he frees it there, he's taking all the defence across that way, hoping that something will open up on the inside. This man a little bit slowly across, and as play continues, it's a late flick pass, and then Paul Mellor, so strong, one-on-one, the big fend on Luke Bailey, gets the ball over. You'd think that they would be going through now to meet the New Zealand Warriors next week, and just one game away from a grand final performance.
Yeah, it's not a frenzy yet, but it's a very, very long lunch. They're still nibbling away, taking great chunks out of the Dragons.
Well, it's looking now as though the Sharks are heading for a semi-final meeting. Keen to, as I said, do anything flash. Treaster goes out from dummy half, gets away for Bird. Bird's over. The Sharks are into the semi-finals. They will play the New Zealand Warriors.
Opened up on the outside. Look at the eyes. Straining to get through himself. Wrong foot's Gasnier. Catavarata didn't react well enough, and Bird, good on him. What a night he's having.
And he sailed in like a bird, didn't he, Paul?
He flew high.
Oh, like a little 737 there. And now they're smiling. Now they know they're in the semi-finals, and Paul, they have got to win over the Warriors. That has shaken the foundations from Darren Britt. McNicholas.
They may have lost players this week, but Darren Britt takes his place. He's had an elbow problem for a while. Not evident on that tackle. It's Peachy. Great ball to Campbell. He's away.
Campbell to the 30-metre line. Now, Colin Best heading for the corner. Gets it back on the inside. Graham. They're over.
Sensational football there, but there is a suggestion there may have been an intercept, a shepherd there as Campbell went through that narrow gap. Dykes was up in the Bulldogs' defensive line. There was a defender who ran into the back of him. The beautiful football on the end of this. Great ball from Campbell. A long pass like that when you're running at pace is very, very difficult. Colin Best decides to back himself on the outside of Talau. He can't reach him. Finally gets a grab on one leg, turns it back on the inside, and Nick Graham, a forward, has done very well to back up those two speedsters, lunges to the line and puts it to 16.
We've just had Darryl Trindle come up against Paul McNicholas.
Here's Peachy. Peachy. Oh, that's a forward pass, isn't it? No, he's allowed it to go. Ferris is over. Ferris has scored. Well, from this elevation.
Okay.
The difficulty here was that Ferris was always in front of Peachy. Ferris was slowing down, waiting for Peachy to pass, and Peachy passed a little too early. I agree. I think the ball's gone forward. Even though Peachy has tried to throw it to the back of Ferris, Ferris was slowing down to keep himself onside. Bill Harrigan in a perfect line, but passes back on the inside are troubling them. From that angle, you would say fine. From where we sit up here, it looked as though it was probably half a yard forward.
Rogers. Taken by Price. Just outside the 20-metre line to the short side again. Long. Stevens. Second man play. Dykes. Campbell. Campbell. Campbell is over. Campbell is over. And Harrigan wants to check it. Well,
Question as we did last night.
I think he's been released though, Pete.
That's what I'm about to say. Do the tacklers let go of him? They do. That's a try. That is a try.
Yeah, no worries there. Totally agree. They had their opportunity to secure Preston Campbell. He's quick and he's strong, and he actually comes out the other side of this tackle. They don't get a hand on him. He's quite within his rights to jump up and plant the football down. And Preston Campbell just waits back on the inside. Inside defenders struggling to get across. Firstly Reardon, coming back was Hughes, coming across was Patton. No one gets a handle on him, no one holds him down, and the little fella lunges out and puts it down.
Having a superb game, Trindle. El Masri. Oh, It's lost by Peake. Rogers is heading for the corner. Rogers, he'll make it. Matt Rogers is over off an Adam Peake mistake.
It was a strange decision by Trindle to run down the short side. He really didn't have a lot of support. There was plenty of defence down there. He actually got caught from behind by the dummy half, and I don't think Peake imagined he was going to throw him the football. Was Salmasri, sorry. Goes down the short side, he's caught from behind, and Peake was sort of just running along with him, thinking, well, will he or won't he? The ball came to him, he wasn't ready. Picked up by Rogers, still had some work to do here. Gets on the outside of Hughes coming across. Too much speed for him. Steps back inside Bunganar. Probably a poor effort there by Bunganar, even though it was coming back against the grain. Masri tries hard, has a slap at the ball, but Rogers too experienced. Had it up and realises he had two options and found a third, which was a bad one.
Don't hook till ball's in.
5 metres on the Sharks' end of the ground. They win the scrum and they find Paul Mellor early, and now Rogers. Tremendous cover work there by Darren Smith it was. Luke Patton played his part. Now it's gone across to the middle of the ground. Through Stewart, through Treaster, through Ferris. Campbell will score! Campbell scores!
Did he get that over?
His second try of the day.
Dived over.
Yeah, Ferris plays at hooker, a former half and 5'8". And when the offence is racing up quickly like that, you just need a cool head. You just need to wait and let them make the mistake. And Ferris did that. A little Preston crawling on his hands and knees, just gets the ball down in time before he loses control. But watch Ferris. They've raced up quickly out wide. He just waits and waits and waits, then pops the ball behind them. Campbell, nearly too quick for his own good, overran it. Starts to stagger from the attention from Martini, but reaches out and puts it down.
Up in towards that northwest area of the stadium. He's lost the ball. Harrigan said play on. 18 metres out from the Dogs' line. The Dogs are in trouble. Stevens away for Lang. Martin Lang. I don't think I've seen him score a try before. He's enjoying it. Well might he do.
Well, I know Andrew Voss will be able to tell us exactly with Martin Lang, his try-scoring exploits. Shane Martini, look, you've got to feel sorry for him. Not long ago, he was knocked rotten. And did Matt Rogers knock on there in picking up?
That wave of injuries in particular has flooded over them. They are brave, but we knew that. Loose ball for Cronulla. Colin Best. He's away. They won't catch Colin Best. Under the Northern uprights. 40 points to 10. It's a day of high excitement for the Sharks of Cronulla.
One of the best broken field runners in the game, Colin Best. The Dogs here, a couple of marginal passes from them. Both of them could have been pulled up. That looked forward. There'll be another one here from Peake that comes out, looks forward, and it just dropped in front of the wrong fellow. Colin Best with some tired forwards, footwork, speed, comes out the other side. Sharks players raise their hands. Patton chases valiantly. But when you drop the ball, you don't want to drop it in front of this fella. One of the best broken field runners in the game.
And look at that action of Colin Best. For a very tall man, he is so elusive. He gets down, beating players close to the ground, and then he starts to rise to his correct height and then extends. Beautiful athlete to watch.
Because he's done well. He had injury problems earlier in the Broncos last night, and the Sharks today have registered their claims that this competition may not be a one-horse race.
Dykes. Sharks again. That is Stewart. Don't tell me he's going to do it. Yes, he has. Well, Sterlo was amazed that he could play out in the three quarters, but he has run like a three-quarter. He is a three-quarter.
Well, he used to be a three-quarter, and Phil Gould set me straight on that. I only know him as a front row, second row. But this belies that. They create the overlap. Well, in fact, not really an overlap, it was 2-on-2, just superior pace by the 16th of Darren Smith. Phil Gould, you tell me about him, because I didn't know that he was a former centre.
Yeah, lower grade centre, recently moved into the forwards because of his great work rate and constitution, and he shows the speed of his younger days here, and a little bit of the forward strength at the end of it to make sure of the try. Bang! Holds his ground, unable to get the ball across a shorter preparation. Wouldn't make any difference to the other two teams, but it certainly makes a big difference to the Sharks.
Ferris is in, running off a Dykes pass. They've reached the half-century. Jason Ferris trailed Adam Dykes, and Dykes has put it back on his chest.
Well, they should know each other well. They played plenty of football together in the halves. That was until Preston Campbell came along. Jason Ferris now finds himself in the hooking role. And a great finish brings up the half-century for them. And the Sharks will go in cock-a-hoop against Newcastle next week on the back of another very strong performance.
What is worrying me is that I asked you both 2 minutes ago for your tips for next